Okay, so today I'm going to tell you a story about my Antares 2025. So what happened to my Antares 2025 is that after a few trips, one day, I feel that the reel has jammed. So I tried cranking it a little bit harder, and suddenly I have this clicking sound when I'm cranking. I test the whole reel. The only thing that I can see is the jaws of the drive gear has some issues. So let me show you how it looks like. So I've already dismantled the whole Antares 2025. And I've tried to find like issues around the rail. The only thing that I could find was like, I don't know if you can see it, there's some chip off over here. At some angle you may see it. Yeah. Then besides that, I couldn't find the reason of it. But I realized that if you look at it, right, the teeth are really, really micro. The teeth of this is crazy, you see? It's really, really, really micro. So I think you can see the chip is somewhere around here. So anyway, I order the parts. I don't know if I'm the first person to actually spoil this rail, or is this rail like easy to spoil or whatsoever. But yep, I order the parts. So at the same time, I want to do this video to show you the inside of the Antares 2025. So I don't want to have any problems. So I order both the drive gear and the pinion gear. So I'm going to replace it. So one very interesting concept of the rail is that the rail is actually quite simple. It doesn't have a synchronized level wind and casting. So it's pretty simple, okay? But one interesting thing that I want to share about is that if after taking off the rail, right, you realize that there is no bearings on the rail, on the spool, sorry. There's no bearing on the spool. Okay, so just to share with you, the whole spool is actually hold on by two bearings. One of the bearing is here, over here. Okay, the other one of the bearing is actually inside here. So this is a very old school. I would say old school. Why? Because the new Maintainence, the new all the new Shimano rails, right? So it's held by another bearing here. So there's two bearings here. That bearing holds the pinion. This bearing holds the spool. So this bearing is the casting bearing. The bearing below is more for cranking and stability of the pinion. So this is a little bit special in terms of the design. Because if you look at the, wait, let me try to screw this back. If you look at the Maintainence and you look at the other Shimano rails now, even I think the Aldebaran, the bearings are one on the side, another one is normally over here. So for this is a really a old school design. Because if you have been casting bait casting for many years, you know that 10, 15 years ago, most of the Shimano spool doesn't have a bearing. So we are back to the old school design, which I think is really good. Because I feel that the casting is better, and the spool weight and the stress on the spool and everything is being controlled better. That's just my personal opinion. So now I'm going to replace the gear, which I'm going to have problem with, and I'm going to fix the rail back. Hopefully it makes sense and it solves the problem. So let's do it step by step. So this is the Carbon Tex drag this that you can find inside the rail. So I'm going to replace this onto the new drive gear. I don't know if the pinion is damaged, but I just want to get a new pinion because I feel that if the drive, where's the drive gear? If this old drive gear is chipped off and damaged on the side, right? Then if I keep cranking it and testing it, you can see the chips over here. Let's go here. Yeah. Then the clicking sound come for it. It actually rub against this pinion. So this is just my personal opinion. I prefer to change both to minimize all the issues. Okay, so importantly, you need to put this back. Okay, So anything below, right, it's not too much of an issue because this is being hold on by the bearing below, and this is more for disengaging and engaging. Okay. So I will just put the grease and everything later on. Just want to make sure that this works. So this is my brand new gear. You're gonna sorry, can't see, right? Sorry. So this is the pinion. This is a brand new gear. I'm going to grease it later. So do some maintenance at the same time. Okay, so we're gonna put this on. So basically, it's a very simple setup over here. Nothing much. The only complicated setup that I know and so far that I've seen is over here. There's this plastic thing over here that actually can be removed. It actually holds onto a bearing. It sticks onto the cover now. It's actually to hold on the pinion gear. I don't know if you understand. You hold on to this thing. So this thing is supposed to go in here, and there's this plastic that holds on to the bearing, and it actually can be taken off. So it's like sticky now without the grease, so it stays there. But this thing can actually be taken off. So if you can see, there's two bearings here. One bearing and the inside bearing is to hold the spool. The outside bearing is to hold the pinion. So that's the only thing that may be a little bit complicated to put back. Then we got to take this out. This is the one that actually pushed the drag. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna put on some grease because this is brand new. Then we're gonna test it again. Hopefully it works, and hopefully we solve the problem. Okay, so now for some painting time. So I'm using the Neutron ceramic grease that you can get from our website, REDTACKLE.com. This is more like a waterproof grease, good for the drive gear. Doesn't wear off easily. We did some tests on it. You can check out our videos. So I'm gonna spin it around first. Let it spread evenly. Okay, this is just some basic maintenance that I do to my reel. Then I will prefer to put some of the grease on this thing because it actually make it stick onto that plastic thing just a little bit, rather than it trying to run around and bounce around, getting out of place. So that's just my personal opinion. So I'm trying to level out. Okay, so we're gonna close it up now. It's very simple because the Antares 2025, the whole engineering and the whole structure of the reel is to me is a pretty good one. It's very easy to take it apart and put it back together. Okay, so instead of having all the screws on the outside, right, the Antares has all the screws on the inside. So the first screw that we will be putting is this. This is the one on the bottom. Okay, and this is a little bit fatter in terms of the screw head, because there's one more of this, a smaller one. The screw head is flatter, so it's supposed to be over here. So get the correct size, correct tool, so that you don't like damage the reel. Okay, so I won't tighten it now because I just want to put on the handle and make sure that I solve the issue. Okay, so the other screw, right, is all the way here, and it's actually controlled by, it's actually being secured by the longest screw. Okay, so it's over here. Okay, I want to do it properly, so just bear with me if I couldn't get the camera angle, because I don't want to be screwing it wrongly and damaging the reel or damaging the screw. So if you can't see some of the views, just pardon me, because I'm just trying to get everything correct. Okay, so now to pull back this section over here, right? The first one is this washer over here. So this washer is actually to prevent anything. prevent the rubbing of the other parts. So I just do a little bit of oil here. So this is like the crank, what do you say, crank bearing. The anti-reverse bearing is not this one, it's actually behind, so you shouldn't get so bothered by the oil. Then the next one is this alternate piece here over here. So this thing is supposed to add like alternate nut. Then we have this screw. This is the one that actually controls the drag. Okay. Then later on, okay, I'm going to wipe it off because there's some things sticking on it, and I've been waiting for like weeks for this replacement part to arrive. Then this is the something like a spring kind of thing. This is actually to hold on to this. So I'm gonna try to put it back now. This is one of the most, to me, it's like the most hated thing, because you got to get the top and bottom correct so that the screw goes in properly. So basically you got to align this thing with this square. Okay, so I'm gonna adjust it out of camera for a while. It's not easy to do it like that. Okay, I think I'm done. It should be in ready. So I'm gonna put in my variant handle. Okay, I can feel it. There's no more clicking sound. Smooth now. So I solved the gear problem. Wow. Okay, now I'm gonna put the spool back. Okay, test it with the spool. Okay, the spool has something that is very important, and this thing usually comes out is that over here and over here, there's two what do you call it? Rubber seal. So sometimes when you pull, this thing can be easily pushed out. So you gotta be careful. There's two rubber seal here. Okay, so now I'm gonna test it. Yes, no more clicking sound. No more clicking sound. Very nice. Okay, so just to share a little bit with you, right? I don't know if you can see it, but the damage is really very minor. It's over here. Can you see some chip off? It's so minor and it start to have a clicking sound when you crank fast. So I think the jaws are really very micro. I'm going to give the rail a test again. I really love the casting of the rail. So I really hope that the gear teeth is strong enough for fishing. Or I mean, I don't expect it to be a light tackle rail, you see. It's not an Adabaran. So I really hope that it's just like a one-time problem where I just have a defect piece. So I hope that things will become better. So that's it. This is my favorite reel. I'm going to test it again. I'm going to tell you the review after 3 months. If I manage to break it again, I'll do a video on it. So thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe button. I'll see you in the next episode, and bye.